From some of the most action-packed moments to a universe full of lore and deeply emotional moments, the Halo franchise has it all. But now, they've come out with a show, and here's what you should expect from the second season. Before I get into that, here's a look into how the first season ended. Since I'm going to be talking about the last episode, there are going to be a lot of spoilers up ahead. Basically, in the last episode called Transcendence, all of the storylines that popped up throughout the season finally converged. That, of course, all happened when he finally came across the very same artifact that fans of the games are too familiar with.
Be consistent with plasma cutters. Covenant forces appear to be excavating for some kind of object. Unclear as to its nature.
The Madrigal. It turns out that John and the other Spartan super soldiers had been betrayed while they were still kids. What made this betrayal by the United Nations Space Command is that he'd spent all of his life fighting for them. How exactly did he find that out? Well, those same visions told him that Dr. Catherine Halsey was behind all of it all along. She was the same person who kidnapped all those children and experimented on them till they turned into Spartans. That's all you know from the first season, but enough about that. Let's talk about the second one, starting with when it's expected to come out. While there isn't any proper date for the new season's release yet, there's a lot that you can speculate about, but it's definitely coming out. Even Paramount made it clear before the first season's release. Not just that, but it was even confirmed on the franchise's official website. So your favorite character may be hitting the big screen really soon, though everyone's expecting to come out sometime later in 2023. Why is that? The show's Twitter account updated fans all the way back in September of 2022 that production had started in Iceland. Have they got to be done by now, right? But even if they're still working on the show, a release earlier next year might not be the worst thing ever. I mean, a polished up season is always better than a rushed one, and no one wants a Halo adaptation out of any of them to go wrong. Speaking of the second season, what will this story be about? Once again, this is another end where there haven't been any official updates yet, but some cast interviews give a pretty good idea of the general direction it's going to take. From what they've said, it seems like the show is going to be much bigger this time. How's it going to get bigger than it already is? You might be asking yourself that. Fear not, this time you're going to get a much bigger world, and that, of course, comes with a lot of much more incredible places. Not just that, but McElhone talked about the direction that they were taking for the upcoming season as well. From what he's read of the scripts, he claims that the upcoming season will explore more about the characters, along with a deeper and darker look into not just them but the entire world they've built up. Though hardcore fans of the version of Master Chief from the game will probably not like this new take on the character, but it's actually quite refreshing and people have grown to love him. Even the show's executive producer Kiki Wolfkill talked about it in a recent interview with Deadline, saying that the three main characters, Master Chief, Soren, and Quan, have an incredible dynamic that they would love to explore in detail. But it's not just the executive producer. Everyone wants to see more of them, though there are a few things that fans would like to change in the second season. But before I get into that, here's a look at the cast. I mean, you can't have a Halo show without Master Chief in it, and no one else out there can play the character better than Pablo Schreiber. While none of the cast members have been confirmed for the second season, almost all have come out to discuss it. So it's pretty safe to assume that at least the main cast is for sure coming back. Not just that, but people did have one complaint about Master Chief from the first season. They expected his character to be more like Mando from The Mandalorian, but he just took his helmet off too much. It would really bring his character to another level if the second season fixed that issue. On the other hand, you've got Yaren Ha as Quan Wanha, Bentley Kalu as Vanek, and Jennifer Taylor as Cortana. That's not all, and there's also Natasha McElhone as Dr. Catherine Halsey, Bukin Woodbine as Soren, and even Shabana Azmi as Baron Goski. And finally, you can't forget about Natasha Kalzak's Riz 028, Kate Kennedy's Kai 125, Danae Sapani's Captain Jacob, and Olive Gray's Dr. Miranda. It's pretty safe to say that the show is full of some of the best characters out there, portrayed better than most adaptations could dream of. But I really hope they can keep the same kind of magic going in the upcoming season. Not only keep it going, but also improve on it. On the other hand, fans want the second season to go deeper into the lore. While the show does have a lot of lore in it, it, for some reason, feels extremely forced. That could be because the creators of the show never really looked towards the games for any inspiration. They even confirmed in an interview with Variety that a lot of stuff from the show isn't accurate to the source material. In fact, they're just there to make the show go in the direction that they want it to go, even the characters. Admittedly, all of those little lore details were hidden in the game, or you had to go looking for them, but that was the charm of the franchise, and now when it's all in front of you, it just feels dead. So it's only fair that fans want things to be true to the source material and more of it. Not just that, but the show changed characters so much that the Spartans just ended up looking like angsty teenagers on the show. I mean, come on, they literally fight to save humanity from alien armies. There's also Dr. Halsey, who's eviler than ever before, taking out any depth in the character. She loves the Spartans in the games and cares about her creations, but here she's just a bad guy. And finally, you and I both would love to see more of the Covenant.
I may not be able to bring you back.
I trust you.
I admit that the Covenant might be better in the show than they've ever been in the games. I mean, there hasn't been a time when you've seen them be more brutal. But with that said, you didn't really get much time to spend with them and get to know them. That was a huge bummer for people introduced to the franchise from the show and longtime fans. The second season could turn out incredible if they just give them more screen time. In fact, that's the very same reason that people love Halo 2 so much. You got to experience the universe through a prominent Covenant character, the Arbiter Thel 'Vadam, directly seeing their perspective. So it's a pretty big deal for fans, and even if the show isn't a direct adaptation of the games, it's a change that's more than welcome. But if the show is actually going to listen to fans and implement such changes is yet to be seen. The only thing you can do until then, honestly, is just waiting. That's been a look at what you can expect from Season 2 of the Halo series.